mockery. After muchos problemos with the internet, we're here. Guys, I have a story to tell tonight, and we are going to hear one of the most prolific what happens after your install goes out of business and you have to figure out what you're going to do when your reps are coming for you. I was trying to find a funny way of linking that together. But guys, Instagram, where you checking in some right now? Where you guys tuning in from? Facebook, where you turn in from? We're streaming live on Instagram and Facebook. The echo's crazy right now. Hold on. Let me try this and see if that's a little bit better. Echo, echo. All right, we got to turn one of the volumes off. Guys, we're salesmen. We're not streamers here. So give us yeah, I think right now we're dealing with a bad echo because
We're
the
trying to figure it
Zoom
out, guys.
technical difficulties here, boys. We're working on it. You need to find a way to like integrate Zoom, Instagram, all of it. It's tough.
Yeah, sure is.
If you're watching this right now, are you check Nate and Big Jason checking in from Texas? Where are you guys at right now?
I'm in Dallas. Julio's in Dallas. Jason is Mr. International right now. He's in Bahamas.
What are you the Bahamas? Oh, is that why your face is all red?
Yeah, we came out, my wife and I came out a day early, but we got about 40 people from Inspire Solar joining. It's we do 2 trips a year where we bring the top 20 sales reps. So the rest of the crew will be joining us tomorrow, including Nate.
So he's red from the sun, but also the alcohol he was drinking earlier.
Oh boy. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. We're working on getting rid of the echo here. So
Hey, Danny, do you want to post the link to the Facebook Live into the Instagram so they can join there as well?
yeah, let me see if we could do that. I'm probably gonna get kicked off. I'm not the best when it comes to all this streaming shit, but well, we gotta get you something good. Okay, let me get you this right here. All right, we got the link there. I'm gonna pin it. I don't know if that works, but guys, so if you are, so there's your camera and your phone. One of them you have to go on complete mute. So turn your computer off completely, or the audio on the computer, and then hopefully that'll get rid of the echo on here.
We still have an echo from guys.
Yeah, we still got an echo, bro.
Yeah, so Nate, looks like your echo was gone, and then Julio, I think that's gone now. Wow, I think it's
Okay.
almost gone. So I have my computer on mute, and I think its echo sounds louder than when I talk. I have to mute one of your devices. Thanks for helping out, guys. But I think we did it. I think the echo is gone, and we can get this party started. So, guys, thanks for checking in. It's your boy, Big Pess. We have got some new friends of mine here that have been in the solar space for a while, and they have a story to tell. We've got Julio, Jason, and Big Nate. Why don't you guys real quick just tell us where your company is, where you're located, and after that, we're going to go into a story tonight. We're going to have a story on what happens when you run a large sales org and your installer goes out of business, leaving you with a tough decision to make. We all know that there's a lot of this happening right now in the solar space, and we want to hear from some people that have been through it, that have made tough decisions that might have hurt them short term, but now long term they've able to rebuild and I believe grown even bigger than they had before. So take a second, let's go one at a time, introduce yourselves, and let's hear a little bit about you, what your role at the company is, where you guys are marketing out of, and go from there. So we'll start
Jason,
with you,
you're the
Nate.
oldest. I'll let you take it away first.
All right, I appreciate it. My name is Jason Merritt. I am president and CEO of Inspire Solar NAVC. We switched over to solar coming out of COVID full time. But prior to that, we were in the energy deregulation. I myself have been in deregulation energy since 1998. Was a part of the Texas deregulation in 2002 on the corporate side.
Jason, can you get a little closer to your Instagram?
Yeah, is that better?
He's not on the Instagram. He's just on the Zoom.
Yeah, I'm
You're
just on the Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So I'm not sure what all you all heard, but been in the industry, solar industry, full time coming out of COVID, and then been in the energy deregulation since 1998. Was part of Texas deregulation on the corporate side in 2002. Actually, part of the pilot program in 2001. Joined up with Nate in 2012, so we've been working together for 12 years now, and brought Julio on board. Nate and I worked together at a different company on the corporate side, and then when we launched NAVC, Inspire Solar, joined up with Julio. Julio, it's been 6 years now, right?
Yeah, 6 years,
Yeah.
2018.
There you go. So a little over 6 years, and it's been a fun ride ever since, and made some good friends and family members along the way. So I'll kick it over to Nate at that point.
Well, I think you've done a good job. I mean, Nate Roselle, for those who don't know me, Senior Vice President of Inspire Solar and the parent company NAVC. I've been in door-to-door sales. I'm 45 years old, been in door-to-door sales half my life, worked for, multiple companies during that period. I've been part of companies that had great leadership. I've been part of companies that struggle with leadership, struggle with culture. And I learned from all those different experiences, all those different stops. Whenever Jason and I started discussing starting NAVC, Inspire Solar, Julio was the first person that we hired. But the goal of Inspire and NAVC was always, we wanted to create a platform where sales reps could be successful, give them all the tools to be successful, and have them be able to focus on selling. And especially in solar, there's so much back end processes and back end stuff that reps get kind of tied up into. We wanted to put a system in place where they could just focus on selling. Our back end would take care of all that stuff, but put a culture in place where it was basically iron sharpens iron. People wanted to push each other and create a competitive but family type environment, and that's kind of one of our keys. So it's been an awesome ride. There's been a lot of ups and downs, like everybody's experienced. I think we're battle tested, and we've been through the storms, and we came out stronger each time from it.
Dude, 100%, man. Julio, we're gonna hear from you in a second. So the thing is, everybody talks about culture, and everyone talks about what their company stands for until shit hits the fan. And in a minute, once after we hear from Julio, we're going to talk about a moment where literally shit hit the fan for you guys and how you navigated choosing these tough decisions. So if you guys are watching this right now, what's up, Mando? How we doing, baby? We're Instagram. We're talking about what happens when your company is faced with tough decisions, when your installer goes out of business, and what you're left to do. So we're with Inspire Solar right now. Inspire Solar was part of the Infinity Group that I believe you were one of, if not the largest dealer for Infinity.
Yes, sir.
Infinity went out of business, and you guys were left figuring out how you're going to pay all your people and try to keep them and retain them. So some of you guys might have been in a situation and where your installer went out of business and you're telling your people, hey, good luck, sorry, can't help you with anything. These guys not only found the solution, but were able to keep and retain all their reps and grow their business. In a minute, we're going to hear about all that. And so I want to hear from Julio next. Julio, tell us your position with the company and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Julio Bacadano. For all those people watching that don't know me yet, I'm the sales director at NAVC. my main purpose is just to recruit, train, and help as many people, either become good closers, good setters, or really strong leaders. As Jason mentioned before, I've been with the company since 2018. At one point, it was just literally just me, Jason, Nathan, and yeah, we have been through a lot of challenges, a lot of struggles. I mean, there was times where we were selling a product which it wasn't solar, and um, as you said before, when shit hits the fan, well, shit has hit the fan quite a few times in those past 6 years. Um, I get, from COVID, the storm, shutting us down from selling electricity and trying to figure out the next day what's the next product that we're going to sell. We have a sales force, but we don't really have a product. And that's when we really pivoted into solar. And, I remember whenever we pivoted into solar, we had a 300-man army selling electricity contracts every single day, doing anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 contracts. But whenever we flipped to solar, a lot of our guys had never sold solar, me including myself. So having to pivot, from electricity to solar, start from the ground up, because a lot of people left. They were scared to sell solar. They thought it was a high ticket item. And then having to scale up and, whatever happened with Infinity, I think that we were already kind of prepared mentally for stuff like this because we've gone through it so many times as a company. And, as far as like the three people that are here, we never really folded, never really thought about quitting. I think it was just a matter of what do we do next? How do we do it better? And, just putting the plan to action. So it's been a hell of a ride. It's definitely been fun. Um, got to make a lot of money on the way, but also got to help a lot of people make a whole bunch of money on the way as well, which is, to me, is one of the most important things as my role in the company. So yeah, I mean, here we are. We've been able to build, and I think we're in a pretty good position in what we're doing right now as far as the company goes.
Love it, man. And so you guys heard it there first. They transitioned for a couple different products. They had the right group, and they
Hey, Danny, I think we've lost you a little bit.
Yeah, on the Zoom part, we can barely hear you, brother.
I guess while you're doing that, I'll talk a little bit about the kind of build up to the fall of Infinity. So, as you mentioned earlier, we were the largest sales org for Infinity. We basically did the bulk of their sales in Texas and some in Northern California. And I think if you've been in solar for a while, you've seen the rise and fall of companies. It's been a very volatile couple of years. And while we were selling Infinity, we started recognizing there were some red flags there, some issues with the company. We started seeing kind of delayed timelines, different issues there. And I think it's funny. This is kind of a full circle moment, like I said to you earlier, because you were the first one who put it out in the public. There were some issues with Infinity, and I remember messaging you, and I was like, asking some questions. But at the time, we were so deeply invested in Infinity. I mean, we had such a large portfolio of business that we were kind of tied to them, and it was a tough time because we recognized there was issues, but it's kind of like you're stuck in that rat wheel. Where it's hard to get off because if you completely pivot, you have ton of money tied up. That's, potential loss. Did you get the Zoom figured out?
I think, can you guys hear me on the Zoom
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, now I can. Yeah.
You're good.
Dude, I have the worst luck with this stuff, man. So for some of you guys have joined, dude, I got a studio built out, got like fiber optic internet, found out that my computer couldn't handle fiber optic, so I had to go buy a new computer and got it hardwired back here, and then it still just has issues, bro. Your boy, Mr. Pest, can't figure out these internet things. I needed to be spoon-fed. But regardless of what's happening here, these are nothing compared to what your group went through. And having to deal with an installer where the signs were there, but you just were like, shit, dude, what can we do? We're in a really tough spot. So what were some of the things you started seeing before I started like telling you guys a little bit about what my inside knowledge is? What were some of the things you saw from a company standpoint? Did it come out of nowhere? Was there some things you should have been paying attention to? What were some of the things on the company level that you were noticing happening from an installer standpoint that you wish?
Yeah, I think for us, the red flags that Nate mentioned started with delay in getting deals on the schedule for install. And then that was very quickly followed by, we can't get material. And so then it was, the customers were being rescheduled at the last minute or not rescheduled at all. Not, at least not proactively. Then it was just leading up to that also, it was just excuse after excuse. There was no proactivity on their side whatsoever. And so it led to a situation where the customers were being impacted, and as such, the sales reps and the business was obviously being impacted. And then very quickly thereafter, it started as we would receive 25% of our pay or half of 50% of our pay. And then a couple of weeks after that, it was no pay. But the biggest challenge that we had, just to elaborate a little bit on Nate's point, was if we stopped doing sales, then Infinity wasn't getting the M1s. Then therefore Infinity couldn't pay their bills because we did account for so much of their volume. And that was communicated to us directly by ownership. And so we were stuck in a situation where if we stopped doing it, then, we wouldn't get the installs taken care of and things like that. So for us, it was, we don't know when we're going to be able to pay you. And then it transformed into, you're not going to get paid. And all the while we were already in talks with another installer, happens to be the largest installer in Texas. And I think they're fourth or fifth now in the United States. But to come to terms for an organization of our size, it's like turning a ship. It's not something that can happen overnight. It's not a weekly thing or a monthly thing. There's a lot of things that go into that in terms of training and all of that. And that installer really stepped up to the plate and helped us out. So for us, it was a good moment for us, and we transitioned, and then, we never looked back after that. I mean, we just shot through the roof, tripled our sales. We had a lot of momentum. Julio and Nate, I give them all the credit in the world. About 2 years ago, made the decision, or brought it to the collective, us three, that we really needed to focus more and do a better job on culture. We needed to provide people with an avenue, not only to be able to make money, but to help them keep more money, with the amount of money that they were making, and create a culture that people really wanted to not just be successful for themselves, but be successful to the person to the left, to the right, the front and the back. And once that happened, once everybody started to care about their brothers and sisters around them, it just exploded from there. So we were already trending up before we had that happen, but because of that decision alone, and that's coming on the heels of we survived through COVID. We paid our people in COVID. We went through the winter storm in Texas, and a lot of energy companies filed bankruptcy. We paid those folks even though we didn't get paid. And then when Infinity went out, it was a no brainer. My wife and I from the jump have always said that the people that helped build this company, the people that helped us make money, we wanted to support those people and not turn their back. And that's not just the salespeople, that's the back office, it's Julio, that's Nate, that's everybody that's involved and has helped make NAVC and Inspire Solar successful. That was a no-brainer for us. And we were millions of dollars in the hole with Infinity. It wasn't, a couple $100,000. It was a lot of money. And so we survived and came out on the better side of it. But again, all the credit goes to Nate and Julio for the culture that they've built and worked so hard to do.
Well, culture is one thing, but Jason definitely deserves the credit. Like, we've always been most people that are in the solar space that are sales orgs or EPCs, they look at the organization as customers of the primary solar, like customers are their primary focus, right? And it should be. Our views have been a little bit different. Our view has been our sales rep, our sales leadership, everybody who works for us. That's our primary customer. That's our client. And every single day we want to do what it takes to continue to earn their business. But when we were faced with this issue, Jason stepped up and kept everybody whole. And so the reps, the leadership, they didn't really feel the pain that the business felt. And it is a tough choice because it's money that we never thought we would ever get back. But because the great thing about Jason and Julio is we are integrity first. That's what we care about, is doing what's right. And every single rep that worked for us, they worked for us. They didn't work for Infinity. And so we felt responsible to make sure that those guys were compensated. And in this industry, I think that's a rare thing. So kudos to Jason for stepping up in the heat of battle. I mean, a lot of guys in this industry haven't. And I think if you've been in this industry for long enough, and it doesn't take a very long time, you've been burned by companies, you've been taken advantage of, you've been screwed over, But I think that's what kind of separates us from the pack is, the integrity that we do things with.
Yeah. And just to add to that, Nate, I remember the rumors kind of like with, I never had a chance to talk to Danny, but there were a few other guys that were telling me, hey, like, it's Infinity paying you. Did you hear Infinity is going out of business, et cetera, and et cetera. And I know you guys play like a different role, like I'm more focused on the guys and making sure that the sales are going and everybody stay working. And you guys handle a lot of the back end stuff for us. But whenever these people used to tell me this stuff, I used to think that they were crazy, that they were just trying to, recruit, et cetera. But that is because I actually didn't find out that that Jason or NABC wasn't getting paid until it was already, I don't know the exact number, but it was close to $1 million. That's when I really found out that they were not paying, but somehow NABC was still paying all of us, including me. So to me, I already knew, what type of person Jason was, but, to see somebody, no matter how much integrity you think they have or, how loyal they are to you, but to see somebody, come out of $1 million that he never knows that it's going to get back and not even mention it until we're getting to that point, to me, that was extremely impressive. I was, at that point, if I didn't know it already, I now knew that I was, hanging around with the right people and working with the right people, which in this industry is extremely hard to find. I've heard horror stories, without this happening, where people are just getting screwed over, for a few $1,000s or whatnot. So, that was a very eye-opening moment for me. Just seeing that you're willing to come out of that much money. I think your Zoom is muted, Danny.
I think your internet's connection again.
Back. Is my Zoom doing good?
It's
There we
Yeah,
better.
go.
you're good.
All
I
right,
think
there
you
we go.
keep
We're back.
muting yourself and unmuting.
I'm telling you, boys. Give me a paper and a pen and a freaking 25-year contract. I'm lights out. Give me a computer, dude, and
Put
I
you in front
fall
of a door,
apart.
no issues. But when it comes to
Yeah.
technology,
But guys, what you heard there was, if you didn't pick it up, um, their installer didn't pay them, and the leadership came together as a crew and decided to pay out the people, because what they said was is people don't work for installers, and their culture was they didn't work for the installer, they worked for them. And so when you switch installers or you switch different partners or people, you got to remember you're in the people business. And so what they did is they got their people bought into them. And when push came to shove, they took responsibility for that installer going out, and they paid their people. And it wasn't no 600, 300, 400, 500,000. This was millions of dollars that they paid out. So what that means, guys, is if you're watching this and you're a leader, you need to have some money saved up in case something hits the fan like this. And so there is some big news that is coming down the pipeline that I can't share publicly right now. But guys, be smart and make sure that you are taking good care of your people, because at the end of the day, all we have is culture and the organizations we work with. And if something happens where a product that we're selling is selling a different product, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just like with these guys, they worked with a different product and switched into solar. And if for some reason solar happens and everything just goes away, they can pivot to a new product and service. Because at the end of the day, we're in the people business and not the solar business. Although we sell solar, taking care of our people. Because at the end of the day, solar is cool for the customers, but the number one product a company can have is taking care of their people. And so that's a tough pill to swallow. And when that time came, I don't know, it's maybe a question for you, Jason or Nate, or Julio. When it came time to paying the people, what was that discussion? Was it I don't know, do we blame it on Infinity? What was that behind closed doors discussion with your people and your C-suite on what to do?
I think for us, there was really no discussion, right? We've done this in the past, like I said, during COVID and the ice storm and in Texas, and it was a no brainer. I mean, as you can tell, I'm not a young man anymore, and I'm closer to retiring than I'm closer to starting my career. And like my wife and I knew that we could take that money and retire and be done and sail off into the sunset. But that's not the ethical thing. That's not the moral thing to do. That's not the right thing to do. And we felt that it was just the right thing to do. Right. And I think, Julio,
We can't hear you, Jason, on the Instagram. And
Ye-
whoever's got the stream, let's get the volume up a little bit for Jason. Let me try
I,
this.
yeah, he's on the Instagram. If you want to turn your volume up, so you're.
that better?
He's on the Instagram. If you want to turn your volume up, so you're.
Hold on.
I think the problem's gonna be the lag.
How's that?
Turn up my computer audio to hook up to Instagram. So yeah, try that. All right,
are you speaking, Jason?
Okay, we good?
Yep.
Okay. So, I mean, in terms of what kind of discussion that we had as it related to should we pay our guys or not, there was really no discussion. It was just, this is what we're going to do. We've done it in the past in a couple of different circumstances, and we're going to do it again. As I mentioned, I'm closer to retirement than I am to starting my career. And my wife and I could have just kept that money or kept our money and not paid that money out. But irrespective, if I had to work longer than, my plans for retirement, et cetera, then that's just what we were willing to do. That was it was the right thing to do. And so I think when Julio found out, we had just had a sales contest and the winners were all going to Las Vegas. The company was paying for that and they had a great time out there. And when Julio found out, it's like, man, I'm not going to go. And he said, why? And I said, we just need to save our money, and that's when I think he found out about Infinity not paying us. And so we sent everybody out and everybody had a great time. And I stayed back because it was starting to get a little bit tight. Like I said, when you're a couple $1 million in and now you're thinking about 401ks and having to do different things to keep the business afloat. But more importantly, it was just to do the right thing. So, Nate brought it. We all had a discussion about it and that was it. There was no really conversation about it.
Yep. Definitely never had a conversation with him about it until it was already way too far gone. But, definitely appreciate it, Jason. I think that a lot of, a lot of the people that didn't follow this route, what they realize is that later on they really don't have a business because the people lose trust in you. And, at that point, you got to make a decision. Do I keep this money that I currently have right now and lose my entire business, or do I keep the people happy and hopefully, even if I don't get paid back from, the installer, hopefully later on in the future, I can make some of that money back, right? But Jason, I think you're one of those old mafia guys that just loves the game too much to quit anyways, brother. I don't think you're the retirement type just yet.
Probably not. We'll see.
I've been saying that for years.
I just, I think the hardest thing about me walking away, is first of all, I can't sit still. I like to do things and stay busy, but
Hold on a second. Danny, you died on the Zoom again.
All right, we back on Zoom. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
yeah. So for me,
I'm telling you
it's
guys, I
more
saw
about
you with these internet stuff,
oh, go
man.
ahead.
But you heard that it was a choice to pivot some of your money that you saved up. Choice, and it sounds like you've made that choice before it came up, and that's why you guys are in such a good spot. You're one of the, I think, #1 largest dealer in Texas for TriSmart, and you guys have been absolutely killing it. So not only that, but I know a lot of people that are watching this right now, they resonate with your story because they've been through a similar situation and they want to try to see, hey, how can I learn from this? And what's cool is we're actually going to be going out to Houston to visit you guys in 2 weeks and do a training for your whole entire group that's going to be open to the public, right?
Yes.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So we're going to have it open. We're going to have a link that if you guys want to show up, open to the public, free. I'm going to be giving a keynote. I've been working on a lot of new content, just taking in a bunch of the stuff that I've learned over the years, and I'm going to be training on it out there in Houston. I have not made it to Houston yet. I have only done gigs in Texas. I know my people in Houston have said, hey, dude, get down here. So this is a great chance for, if you are in Houston, swing through. We're going to be having an open training. The dates, let me see. What are the dates on that again? I think
The
it's
27th. It's exactly 2 weeks from
June
today.
27th. So June 27th, we're going to be out there. I'm going to be posting about it on Instagram. And we want everybody to show up and just hear, because the thing is what's happening now to you guys is going to be happening continually, not only just in solar, but in a lot of times, is when times get tough, you got a choice between choosing ethics or taking the easy way out. And I'm looking forward to hearing some of your guys' training on what you guys did more in depth to put those ethics that can create such a good culture inside your organization while we're out there in Texas. So
yeah, we're excited about working
what
with
do you
you
guys
as
got to
well.
say
I
about that?
think we're excited about working with you as well. I think this industry has been this is such a cash flow industry, so sometimes it attracts a lot of bad actors and bad characters. And over the past couple of years, that has increased dramatically, and it's kind of perverted the industry. It's caused a lot of issues. So we're excited to align ourselves with someone like you, who's known for ethical, being ethical and doing things with integrity. That's what our company is all about. Taking care of our customers, taking care of our sales reps, and doing things the right way. That's kind of what's driven us to the success that we are having.
Yeah. And for the guys watching this right now, and if you're tuning in, I was at the reason why we started a little bit late, I was at the Contractor State License Board for California, and all they're talking about is finding who the bad eggs are and getting them out of the industry. And so what I learned from working at a big company like Vivint, and I've continued to take into the solar industry, is you got to protect the golden goose. And the golden goose is the solar industry. And that's why it's so important when you say to get the deal. And I would challenge you to think big picture, because if you play in the deal, the gray, to get one deal, it's going to cost that customer, it's going to cost your morals, and then it's also going to cost the complaints and all of the other deals that that customer is going to tell everybody not to get involved because of you taking a shortcut. And it literally doesn't need to get done. When people resort to unethical sales practices or selling deceptively, it's because they don't have a skill set to get around hard objections or get a customer confident in what you're doing. So I was so fortunate enough to work for a company that sold the highest price product, and you had to do it so squeaky clean that if you were caught, you would be on news, you would be fired. Like, it was a really sticky situation. And so since then, and learning that, I found a way never to play in the gray, and that's what I teach on, and that's what, you know, has been a really important thing in all the practices that I teach going forward. And so, you know, that's why I love training. That's why I love doing what I do, and doing it in an ethical way, because you can get more sales. You don't have to shortcut. What's up, K Swiss? K Swiss just joined on the Instagram live. Kevin Swiss was the artistic director for Vivint for 23 years, the man who brought competitions to the door-to-door space. What's up, K Swiss? Much love, dude. Good seeing you, bro.
As soon
And
as you heard,
you
as
know,
soon as you said Vivint, all the Vivint guys are coming out of the shadows.
all the Vivint boys jumping on. Hey, if you sold for Vivint, show some love in the comments. But yeah, man, I learned a lot from there. I learned from a lot of guys. Jeff Mendez, Bodie Gardner, Casey Ball, uh, the Browns brothers, Cody Babel, Jeremy Young, and just all these
It's funny that you're
guys.
talking about Vivint, because
Jared Young.
we used to talk internally, us three, about we wanted to kind of replicate Vivint's success. We wanted to kind of build the Vivint of solar, because you guys, Vivint dominated the industry for alarms. You know, known for culture, known for, you know, great leadership, great training. You know, which led to the success and the retention. And so we saw. It's funny that we're talking about, because we used to always talk about we want to emulate that.
Yep. And you know, that's one of the things that I take now, is because a lot of times is people don't want to go run a big company, but they want to learn what the big companies did. And that's what I'm really excited to take, is what I've learned my years at Vivint, and implement it into growing companies and say, hey, dude, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. It worked. Let's just replicate it, duplicate it, and freaking run it up. So with that being said, you're going to get a taste of it. We're going to be out at the website. We're going to pin it here in the comments. I'm going to be out in Houston next week with you guys. It's going to be an open event. I'm going to be throwing down. We've got a hotel rented. It's showdown.com if you guys want more information. Whoever's hosting this, we're going to pin that comment. I'm going to post on my Instagram. So if you guys want to show up, this is the first time I'm going to be in Houston, and we're going to throw down. This deal is on the house. So we want to welcome everybody to show up and get a taste of, you know, the fire spitting from Big Pass and the Inspire crew. So we're going to be looking forward to hearing from Nate. We're going to be hearing from Jason and Julio. If you guys don't know Julio, Julio is one of the top reps for Inspire. He's got a sick green Lambo that you got to take me in a freaking drive with, bro. I'm
I
gonna
got you,
definitely
man.
want to get that bad boy. And yeah, so it'll be fun. So with that being said, we're gonna post it up there. But guys, I commend you for doing an honorable thing when being dishonest in a space is so relevant. Taking the time to pay your reps when your installer went out of business is a tough choice that you guys could have got away with not doing, because you weren't the ones that messed up. The installers were. and you guys did what was right. And I look forward to hearing your guys' story more in Houston when I'm out there in a few weeks, and look forward to getting everybody there. So if you guys need a tune-up, take the day and come spend it with us. We'll get you guys trained up, get your guys' ethics in line, and get you back on the doors making money. And this is one of those things. Solar is one of those industries that I think we're at like a less than a 5% market penetration. And I hear so many people losing faith, but it's the same everywhere, guys. The market's getting tough. So you just got to get better. And that's what we're going to be talking about in 2 weeks, how to get better, do it the right way, and continue to grow, because Inspire has been absolutely dominating. And I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say to help the industry grow from your end too as well. So with that being said, I try to keep this around 30, 45 minutes, not too long, but any final words from your guys' group before we wrap this bad boy up?
We appreciate you, Danny. We really enjoy the partnership and the communication that we've had with you thus far. Super excited to have you out on the 27th for the 2 sessions, and we're really looking forward to it. So thank you for taking the time today to have us on.
Yeah, I was going to add to that. I mean, we're sponsoring the event because we, like I said, we're trying to align ourselves with people who have the same vision of the industry, want to clean up the space, operate ethically. But I'm excited about it. I mean, to me, this event is going to be about how to not just kind of fluff. There's a lot of people out there that are doing sales trainings and all this kind of stuff, and it's just fluff and it's just kind of nonsense. But this is going to be a kind of tactical sales training. You're going to walk away with definite improvements to your skill sets, but how to do it ethically and how to do things the right way and have that type of success that, I mean, this is right now, the space it's a huge opportunity to help a lot of customers and make a lot of money in the process. So if you're in Houston area, you should definitely come to the event. Once again, the website to enroll is txsolarshowdown.com.
Yes.
Ooh.
Julio,
As far
any
as for
final
me,
words
man,
from you?
nah, I mean, I appreciate you taking the time and getting on this live with us. We talked a lot about what NAVC has done, but I also do want to give a shout out to the leadership and to the squad. We got Raymond Campos, Adrian Perez that are leading, some of our biggest teams, and I just wanted to give a shout out to them guys. Unfortunately they couldn't be here. They're probably out there knocking or doing what they're supposed to be doing. But one of the reasons that we're successful within the industry is because of these guys, the foot soldiers and the guys that are, managing large teams. But I'm looking forward to the training. I'm sure that our guys is going to get, a whole bunch of knowledge and a whole bunch of different ways that, we can improve ourselves, improve our career. And, if you're not what Inspired is okay, like just, come and watch, and hopefully that you can take some nuggets as well and be better at, whatever company you're working with or industry. I mean, it's all about, getting each other better. You said there's about a 5% market penetration. So I think that there's still enough doors for, many of us. So, join us in Houston, whether you live in Houston, you live in Dallas, it's a 3-4 hour drive. Should be fun. So appreciate it, man.
Hey, Nelson, I knew you'd show up.
For jumping on. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you guys here at the 27th out in Texas. I'll put the links on my Instagram and the Facebook page. But guys, I commend you. Go out, keep selling ethically. We're in a great industry. It works for the customer, it works for the sales rep, and it works for the planet. Keep killing it, and love you guys. Have a good one. Peace.
All right. See you guys.